Hey film fans, my name is David. This is Film Collector Archive, and today we are talking the Kino Lorber March into April sale. Those who follow the channel know how much I love Kino Lorber, and I love how often they have sales on their site. The most recent sale was the March into April sale. They had hundreds of titles that were on sale, most of which are about the $7 to $12 range, I want to say. And as always, I had to go in and pick up more titles than I probably should have, but I am very excited to have add these to the collection. So this is not an in-depth review video or anything like that. This is just showing what I picked up. So we're going to make quick work of this because I know in the past I've had some of these videos go much longer than anticipated. And I was going to break these up or section these out into a type of film, but I didn't get that done. So we'll go ahead and jump right into this. So first up, we do actually have two Scorpion releasing titles here. First up, we have One Potato, Two Potato. This is black and white from 1964 with a runtime of 83 minutes. Show you the cover on that one, and then I'll just flip over. I don't know how well you'll be able to see all the details, but just give you an idea of what these releases look like. This one's been on my radar for a long time, so I'm very happy to pick that up. One Potato, Two Potato, and that is directed by Larry Pierce. Next up, also from Scorpion releasing with Charles Durning, Pam Grier, and James Keach, we have Stand Alone. This is from 1985 in color with a runtime of 94 minutes. And this is a purchase that I'm going off of the reviews of other collectors that I've seen, other people in the kind of LETTERBOXD community, if you will. And this film has gotten really good reviews, a lot of recommendations, so really happy to add this one to the collection. Next up, we have a few Kino Studio Classics titles. This is right up my alley. I love 1950s sci-fi monster movies, that type of thing. So I had to pick this up. From 1957 in black and white with a runtime of 78 minutes, we have The Land Unknown. Love the cover art there. And there's a look at the back. And most Kino Lorber releases, they're not really, there are some that are supplement heavy, but for the most part, you'll usually get a really solid audio commentary and then trailers, that type of thing. And we do get that here. We get an audio commentary, animated image gallery, and then theatrical trailer. This is directed by Virgil Vogel. All right, next up from Kino Lorber Studio Classics. This is a film that I've been meaning to watch for years. It's got the great Raquel Welch and John Richardson. And I believe this is a Hammer film. Trying to see something definitive here. You know, I actually might be wrong on that. This is from 1966. Maybe just ignore the fact that I said that. From 1966 with a runtime of 100 minutes, and it's in color. And this is 1 million years BC. No idea why I have not seen this film up to this point, but very happy to have it here now. And oh, I was trying to remember what another one of the big selling points here for me was, and that is that the special visual effects are created by Ray Harryhausen, so that's an immediate sell for me. And trying to see, directed by Don Chaffee. And I think this might have yeah, so this has multiple cuts of the film. Sorry if you hear my doorbell in the background. This includes the 100-minute international cut and the 91-minute US cut are both included here, so that's something to note. All right, next up from Kino Lorber Studio Classics, we have a 1980s film that has eluded me for a long time, and really happy to get this on sale and add this to the collection. 1983. Again, we have two cuts here. Being a TV movie, I'm assuming we get the, yeah, so there's the 122-minute TV cut and the 127-minute theatrical cut. This is directed by Nicholas Meyer, and this is The Day After. This film was a really big deal back in the 80s, and yeah, focuses, I'll read a little bit back here. The countdown has begun. Against the real-life backdrop of the U.S. deployment of weapons of mass destruction in Europe during the escalating Cold War, this dramatically involving and agonizingly graphic film about nuclear holocaust detonated a direct hit into the heartland of America, becoming the most watched TV movie of all time. And then you have Jason Robards, JoBeth Williams, Steve Guttenberg, and John Lithgow, so some big names from the 80s for sure. And this, again, has both cuts of the film. Audio commentary, you get Lee Gambin and Tristan Jones. Interview with star JoBeth Williams, interview with director Nicholas Meyer, and original theatrical trailers. So really interested to watch this, as I have not seen this one up to this point. All right, next up from the Kino Classics line, this is one that's been in my cart in more sales from Kino than I care to admit, and found its way out before I went to check out. But this is the RKO Classic Adventures. So this is a, sorry, I'll turn this back around here. This is a triple feature. We have The Painted Desert, The Payoff, and The Silver Horde. Oh, and of course I can look on the back here. Painted Desert is from 1931, The Payoff is from 1930, and The Silver Horde is from 1930 as well. Overall runtime here is 220 minutes, so individually speaking, these will be nice and breezy to be able to sit down and watch through, which I always like a nice short film. But yeah, RKO Classic Adventures, I like the cover art there as well, but glad to finally have picked this one up. Next up from Kino Lorber Studio Classics, we have Boris Karloff starring in the Mario Bava directed film Black Sabbath. This is from 1963 in color with a runtime of 92 minutes. We get a commentary here by the great film historian Tim Lucas, who is really a regular on audio commentaries, and then the original theatrical trailer. Now, this is the American International Pictures release. There is also through Kino, which it would have been cool if they just included both in one release, but there is also the Italian version, which I will most likely pick up at some point, but this is the American International Pictures version. So you can search and see that there's actually the two, this and the Italian version. All right, next up we have the definitive edition of the 1927 epic. This is Uncle Tom's Cabin. And this is, yeah, from 1927 in black and white, of course, with a runtime of 112 minutes. And this is Carl Laemmle, produced and directed by Harry Pollard, and is based, of course, on the novel by Harriet Beecher Stowe. And this one is a little bit more, and this seems to be more prevalent with the Kino Classics titles, where they have a little bit more in terms of the supplements. So I'll give you, I'm not sure again if you'll be able to see that, hopefully you will. So this features a 2K restoration of the original 1927 release with movie tone score by Erno Rapé. Complete 1958 reissue version introduced by and narrated by Raymond Massey. Audio commentary with Edward J. Blum, booklet essay, and then we get a new 2K master of the 1914 World Film version starring Sam Lucas, preserved by the Library of Congress, music by Andrew Earl Simpson, and then also a new 2K master of the 1910 Vitagraph version directed by J. Stuart Blackton. So a pretty stacked release here. One of the silent era films that I feel like I should have seen and have not. So really happy to add this to the Kino Classics lineup in my collection. And I know we've got some more Kino Classics here. In fact, the next one here, directed by the great Fritz Lang. This is an adventure epic. This is The Spiders from 1919, and this is an epic. This is a 173-minute runtime, and has a color tinted presentation, and is a silent film with English intertitles, and this is presented as a two-part film. So part one, entitled The Golden Sea, runs at 69 minutes, and part two, The Diamond Ship, runs at 104 minutes. So I'm really excited to see an early Fritz Lang film. Just looks really, really neat. And yeah, really cool cover art. Love the overall presentation here. All right, next up, we have, this is just kind of a standard Kino Lorber release, not Studio Classics, not Kino Classics, just Kino Lorber. And this was an official selection from the Telluride Film Festival. 4 reels of 35mm film dredged up from the Atlantic Ocean open a window onto Soviet history and cinema. This is a film by Bill Morrison, The Village Detective, A Song Cycle. Those who are regulars with watching content on this channel know how much I absolutely love documentaries, really of any kind. And this is a nice companion piece to another release through Kino Lorber, which I have on the shelf, called Dawson City, Frozen Time, which I have not watched yet. And part of the reason for that was I knew that I was going to be pulling this into the collection, and I think it would make a really interesting double feature. So I'll watch Dawson City, Frozen Time, and The Village Detective, A Song Cycle together, and yeah, should be an interesting watch. Bonus features here, we have trailers, 3 short films by Bill Morrison, Buried News from 2021, Let Me Come In from 2021, and Sunken Films from 2020. So really intriguing release here, and yeah, nothing else to say on this one. Really excited to, again, have that double bill. All right, next up from Kino Lorber Studio Classics. Now, one of my favorite films of all time, I know I say that a lot on this channel, but I have so many favorites. One of my favorite films of all time, and my favorite release from the Criterion Collection, is the Sidney Lumet directed 12 Angry Men, of course, starring Henry Fonda and amongst an all-star cast. So that was from 1957. Now, that was of course based on a stage play, which is included as a supplement on that Criterion disc. But then in the 90s, 1997, there was another version of 12 Angry Men directed by the great William Friedkin. who of course directed The Exorcist, would be his kind of primary film if you were to put a film to his name. He directed, another version of 12 Angry Men in 1997 that, again, has a really wonderful cast, but for whatever reason, I've always been really resistant to watching this film. And here, I'll show you the cover here. Always been resistant to watching this film. I love the original so much that it's, I'm not a big one for remakes most of the time, but I figured, with a cast like this, and we've got Courtney B. Vance, Ozzie Davis, George C. Scott, Armin Mueller-Stahl, Dorian Harewood, James Gandolfini, Tony Danza, Jack Lemmon, Hume Cronin, McKelty Williamson, Edward James Olmos, and William Peterson. Really great cast here. And I figured it's time to watch this film. So the only special feature included here is a trailer. So really nothing here supplement-wise, but I love William Friedkin and a lot of members of this cast. And so, 2 or 3 of the cast members I'm not really familiar with, but I do look forward to watching this version of 12 Angry Men. All right, we've got 5 titles to go. Let's keep it going here. Here we have, let's see. Yeah, so we have another Fritz Lang title. And this is Woman in the Moon. And this is another one from the Kino Classics line. Out of Germany from 1929, a runtime of 169 minutes. So another kind of epic film here. In black and white, and we get a 2K digital restoration by the F.W. Murnau Stiftung. Piano score by Javier Perez de Paita. I'm probably butchering that name, I apologize. And then Woman in the Moon, the first scientific science fiction film, a documentary on the making of the film, which has a runtime of 14 minutes. So neat kind of graphic cover there, the cover art there, and there's the back on that one. But this is kind of one that was at the end of the list of titles that were included in the sale. As I was sorting through them, they were just sorted alphabetically, and Woman in the Moon here came near the end and just kind of caught my attention, so I threw it in the cart kind of last minute, and it's a Fritz Lang film, so hard to miss with Fritz Lang. All right, and another Kino Classics title here in partnership with BFI. This is Man with a Movie Camera. I've heard wonderful things about this film. This is from is it 1929? Yeah, 1929. Out of the USSR, black and white, 67-minute runtime. And we get an audio commentary by film historian Adrian Martin, the life and times of Ziga Vertov, an interview with Ian Christie, which is a 46-minute runtime there, and Ziga Vertov Nonfiction Film Thing, a video essay by David Cairns, and that has a runtime of 20 minutes. Really cool cover on this one. There is the back. All right, coming to our last 3 here, another Kino Classics. I didn't realize how many Kino Classics titles here, but that's the overwhelming majority of these titles. From Kino Classics, we have another silent film. This is the Epic of Everest. From 1924 out of the UK, a runtime of 87 minutes, and this is directed by Captain John Knoll. Special features here include introducing the Epic of Everest with Sandra Knoll, scoring the Epic of Everest with Simon Fisher-Turner, restoring the Epic of Everest with BFI curators, and a trailer. So there's that one. And the back if you want to read the synopsis on any of these. I saw the trailer on this online and researched this a little bit, and very, very intrigued by this title. And our last two here, these are both in a nice slipbox presentation, which I didn't realize they were going to come that way, but that's kind of neat. Both of which are Kino Classics releases, and this is has multiple features here, but this is Devil's Needle and Other Tales of Vice and Redemption. So you can see here, this is a nice slipbox presentation, really neat artwork there. This is mastered in HD from archival 35mm elements preserved by the Library of Congress, program notes by film historian Richard Kozarski, unedited outtake footage from Children of Eve, 8 minutes, and the raw surviving footage of the inside of the white slave traffic, 19 minutes. So we have essentially 3 films here. We have The Devil's Needle from 1916, and that's in black and white, runtime of 66 minutes. The Inside of the White Slave Traffic from 1913, black and white, 28 minutes. And finally, Children of Eve from 1915, black and white, with a runtime of 73 minutes. And I apologize, The Devil's Needle is directed by Chester Withy. The Inside of the White Slave Traffic is directed by Frank Beale, and Children of Eve is directed by John H. Collins. So there is the back on that one, and again, just the nice slipbox presentation here. It doesn't mention here if there's an essay booklet or anything like that inside, which do seem to come in this style of release, but not sure on that. And finally, we have a film by D.W. Griffith starring Lillian Gish and Richard Barthelmess. This is D.W. Griffith's Way Down East, an Americana classic, with a 35mm restoration by the Museum of Modern Art, which we see here on the cover. This is mastered in HD from the Museum of Modern Art's 35mm restoration with original color tints, music by the Monte Alto Motion Picture Orchestra, gallery of images from the original souvenir program book, notes and excerpts from the play by Lottie Blair Parker, photos of William Brady's 1903 stage production, and then a film clip, the ice flow sequence of the Edison Studios' Uncle Tom's Cabin from 1903. So really interesting release here. I have a few D.W. Griffith films in my collection at this point, and this looks to be an interesting release here of Way Down East. So that does it. Those are the titles that I picked up. And I do want to shout out my wife on this stack of films, because this is actually part of my birthday haul. Part of basically what happens with my birthday is she cuts me a certain amount of funds, and then that turns into movies to add to my collection. So thank you very much, hun, for the awesome birthday present. The ability to go on to Kino's sale and pick out titles is definitely something I looked forward to. So let me know down in the comments if you picked up any titles from the Kino Lorber March into April sale. They have a lot of great titles available. Glad that I was able to pick up what I did, that everything I wanted was in stock. I didn't have any stock issues or anything like that. Also, it's worth noting, especially if you're new to Kino Lorber, there's always a going out of print, kind of a running, standing sale that they have on their site. So if you click over to kinolorber.com and click on shop, and if you scroll down, there's a going out of print sale. There's usually several pages of titles that are going to soon be going out of print that are worth looking at. So definitely do that. Let me know what you picked up from the sale, and let me know if you have any other comments. If you have any comments about the films that I've picked up, maybe let me know where you think I should start in terms of watching through these films. A lot of interesting titles here. And until next time, I hope you're able to watch a lot of great films.